She was the victim of a crime that shocked parents everywhere. Stabbed 19 times, allegedly by two of her friends, who said they were trying to impress a fictional internet character called...
The story begins with a name that sounds like it came out of an internet nightmare, Slenderman. He is a tall, faceless figure, dressed in a black suit, with arms so long that he could stretch.
Craig, it is a brutal crime, and Wisconsin law says if you're accused of committing first-degree intentional homicide or attempting it, you start in adult...
them like branches in the dark. Slenderman was not real, but he lived in the minds of young people who spent hours on the internet. He first appeared in online forums, then spread into games, videos, and scary stories. For many children, he became a modern monster, whispered about at sleepovers and searched late at night on glowing screens. For two 12-year-old girls, Anissa Weyer and Morgan Gazer, Slenderman was more than just a creepy story. They believed he was real. They thought he could see them, hear them, and punish them if they failed him. To them, he was not just a shadow in a tale, but a dangerous master they had to serve. The idea that he lived deep in the forest, waiting for his servants, took root in their young minds. What started as an internet myth turned into a chilling obsession. The more they read about him, the more they felt trapped in his world. They believed that to prove their loyalty, they had to act. To them, it was not a game anymore, it was survival. And so, in the quiet town of Waukesha, Wisconsin, a frightening plan began to grow in the minds of two children who mistook a digital ghost for a god. Girls plan attack Anissa Weyer and Morgan Gazer were only 12, but their thoughts had already turned into something dark. They were not planning a prank or a trick. They were planning something deadly. Both believed that Slenderman demanded a sacrifice, and if they did not give him one, he would come for their families. This fear grew into obsession. The two girls began whispering about it in class, at sleepovers, and during ordinary moments when other children their age were thinking about games or cartoons. At first, the idea sounded impossible even to them. But slowly, their conversations turned into real steps. They thought about who the victim would be, and their choice fell on another 12-year-old girl, Peyton Leutner, their friend. They told themselves that Peyton had to be offered to Slenderman, and only then would they be safe. Instead of protecting their friend, they plotted against her. The forest lure. It was a warm morning in late May 2014 when the girls decided their plan would finally come alive. The three friends, Anissa, Morgan, and Peyton, seemed like ordinary kids spending time together. They laughed, played, and acted as if nothing was wrong. But behind those smiles, two of them carried a deadly secret. Their plan was simple but cruel: lure Peyton into the woods and strike when she least expected it. They first thought of attacking her during a sleepover, but the idea failed. Then they planned to do it in a bathroom stall at a park, where the blood could be washed away. That too did not happen. Finally, they settled on the woods, believing it was the safest place to hide their crime. To Peyton, it was just another walk with her best friends. To Morgan and Anissa, it was a walk toward sacrifice. As they led Peyton deeper into the forest, the trees seemed to close in. The girls told her they wanted to play hide and seek. It sounded harmless, even fun. Peyton had no reason to fear her friends. But with each step into the shadows, she was being led closer to danger. In their young minds, Anissa and Morgan believed that Slenderman was waiting somewhere beyond the trees, watching them, judging them. Every laugh, every innocent word, hid the truth that betrayal was just moments away. The stabbing day, the day turned from laughter to horror in a single moment. Deep inside the woods, the three girls played what looked like a simple game. But Morgan Gazer carried a kitchen knife, nearly 5 inches long, hidden in her clothing. Anissa Weyer gave her signals, whispering that it was time. Their hearts raced, not with guilt, but with the belief that Slenderman demanded action. Peyton Leutner, innocent and unaware, trusted her friends completely. When Morgan pulled out the knife, Peyton thought it was a joke. But the first strike cut through that trust forever. Morgan stabbed her once, then again and again. In total, Peyton was stabbed 19 times. The attack was brutal, leaving wounds across her chest, arms, and legs. Some missed her heart by less than a millimeter. Somehow, in the frenzy, she did not die right away. As Peyton fell to the ground, gasping, Anissa and Morgan urged her to stay still. They told her to lie down so she would lose blood faster, convincing her it would hurt less. It was a cruel trick, but Peyton, weak and in shock, listened. Her life hung between each shallow breath. While she struggled, the two attackers slipped away, believing they had done enough to please their faceless master. For them, it was mission complete. For Peyton, it was a fight to stay alive. Victims fight. Left alone on the forest floor, Peyton Leutner was slipping in and out of consciousness. 19 stab wounds burned through her body, Yet her will to survive was stronger than the pain. She realized that if she stayed where she was, she would die. Gathering the last of her strength, she pressed her hands against her wounds and crawled. Each movement was agony, but she refused to give in. Inch by inch, she dragged herself through the dirt, determined to find help. By a miracle, Peyton reached a bike path that cut through the woods. There, a man riding his bicycle saw her collapsed on the ground, bleeding and shaking. He immediately called 911. Even in her broken state, Peyton managed to whisper what had happened. Her friends had attacked her. The paramedics arrived quickly, rushing her to the hospital. Doctors later said the knife wounds had missed her heart by less than the width of a human hair. Any closer, and she would not have survived. Police catch them. While Peyton was fighting for her life in the hospital, police officers in Waukesha searched the area for the two missing girls. It did not take long before they found Anissa Weier and Morgan Gazer walking near a highway. They looked tired, carrying a few belongings stuffed into a backpack. When questioned, the girls admitted they were trying to reach Slenderman's mansion, which they believed was hidden deep in a northern forest. Their words sounded like something from a nightmare, but to them it was reality. The officers were stunned as the girls calmly explained why they had stabbed their friend. They said they had to do it to prove their loyalty to Slenderman, to show they were worthy of being his servants. There was no sign of panic, no attempt to deny their actions. It was chilling to hear two 12-year-old children speak with such certainty about an internet legend. Meanwhile, investigators went to the crime scene, gathering the knife, the blood evidence, and the details that tied everything together. Peyton's survival made her the strongest witness, but the girl's own confessions left no doubt. The town, and soon the entire country, was shocked that children could believe in such a story so deeply that they would nearly kill a friend. What began as online horror fiction had now become a real-life crime scene that stunned the world. Courtroom truth. When the case reached the courtroom, it drew national attention. People could not understand how two 12-year-old girls had nearly killed their friend over a story that was never real. The trial revealed the dark obsession behind the attack. Morgan Gazer was diagnosed with early-onset schizophrenia. Experts said she saw and heard things that were not there, including Slenderman. Anissa Weier, though not schizophrenic, was deeply influenced by Morgan's delusions. Together, their fears fed one another until fantasy became a plan for murder. In court, Peyton Littner faced her attackers with courage. She described the betrayal, the stabbing, and her desperate crawl for life. Her words painted a picture of pain and survival that silenced the courtroom. The prosecutors argued that the attack was deliberate and cruel, even if the motive was born from fantasy. The defense pleaded mental illness and asked for treatment instead of long prison terms. Lives forever changed. The stabbing in Waukesha left scars far deeper than the wounds on Peyton's body. For her, recovery meant years of surgeries, therapy, and living with the memory of betrayal. She had trusted her friends, and that trust had nearly cost her life. Yet Peyton showed remarkable strength. She returned to school, tried to build a normal life, and spoke openly about what happened. Her bravery inspired many, but the shadow of that day never fully disappeared. For Anissa Weier and Morgan Gazer, life also changed forever. Instead of growing up with friends, school dances, and ordinary teenage years, they were placed in psychiatric institutions. Their childhoods ended the moment they walked into the woods with a knife. Though they avoided prison, their futures were shaped by treatment centers, locked doors, and endless questions about how much blame they truly carried. The community of Waukesha struggled too. Parents worried about the power of the internet, and children learned that even best friends could be dangerous. The name Slenderman, once just an online horror tale, became tied forever to a real act of violence. What started as a myth ended as a warning that stories, when taken too far, can twist young minds into tragedy. Lives were changed, innocence was lost, and the scars of the Slenderman case remain as a chilling reminder of what belief can do.